Yo. Welcome to another JefeCast with the Jefe Hippie. Art. Today's the 9th of September 2022. This more so is a quick NFL game review. A few movie reviews. I actually missed the show I was supposed to put in here. It's a documentary. And a little bit of NBA. Just some quickness. Ain't gonna be too long. Let's start, since it was so recent, the NFL game. So I start off my NFL picks 0-1, but I knew it. I knew I should have changed my picks to the Bills. I knew it. I felt like the Rams had way too many injuries, and the Bills look strong, man. The Bills look like Super Bowl favorites. I'm gonna be honest with you. They Von Miller was a huge add-on. I mean, they sacked him 7 times. They came from all different directions to hit this dude, man. So maybe it's just the first game, getting shaken off the rust because they don't really play in the preseason. But yeah, that was a beatdown. I mean, it started off. I was thinking that the Rams was about to get blown out, and they came back, and I think tied it up at halftime. And I was okay, so we got a game, and then they just blew them out. So don't panic if this, you're a Rams fan, is first game and they was playing another superior team. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't throw a flag per se, a panic flag. None of these, no flags uh, for the whole. It was a good game for a second, and then it wasn't. And Jalen Ramsey, you cannot let Stephon Diggs just run straight down the sideline and think that you're fast enough. You're not that fast to chase the ball down and get there. What's moving faster, a ball or a person? It's always the ball. Uh, but he's been getting smoked a lot. I don't know what he was expecting, but he wasn't backpedaling, but he wasn't running full speed. He was kind of like, I don't know, and he just was smoking down the side, right on top of his head. So start off 0-1. I think we all did, for real, for real. I think we all went with the Rams. Maybe one person did Bills. So right now, we're all down. I did not get the title cards in time to put them up, but a movie that came out on Netflix, maybe today or yesterday, I don't know. I just saw it this morning. It's called sheesh, I remember the name of it. Hold on. It's called End of the Road. It's with Queen Latifah and Ludacris. Basically, Queen Latifah's husband had died. Ludacris is her brother. She has 2 kids. The kids upset that they got to leave. The mom basically everything caught up with her as far as like the bills. You have a house and somebody passes, and you're working basically for two and feeding two. It becomes too much for some people. They have to downsize, have to go live with her grandmother or something like that. So they have to leave from where they are in California and go to Texas. It's supposed to take 3 days. Ludacris is her brother. They ended up going. There's a lot of racism. It's not a lot, but there's some racism with some of and it pisses me off through the movie, like when they interact with certain white people. Here you go, bro. With certain white people, and they end up staying at this hotel and end up hearing a murder in the next room. This guy had at the beginning of the movie supposed to deliver some drug money to like this boss, and he basically killed his partner and took the money. So the boss came to collect, killed him, didn't find the money, and he rolled out. Queen Latifah, she's a nurse. She went in there, tried to. Once the guy left, she tried to go and help the situation. Ludacris sees the bag of money under the sink. He takes the bag of money, which, in all honesty, come on, 9 out of 10 people taking that bag of money. I don't care what you're talking about. But that was the wrong thing. So the next morning, the police. This is how I figured out the movie. As soon as this part happened, the police came in the morning, they interviewed the family and let the family go. But the sheriff, his name is Sheriff Hammer. He pulls up. His name was just Sheriff Hammer. I already felt some type of way about him. But he comes in, he asks, where's the people who was next door? He's like, they already left. He was like, well, we need to get their information, blah, blah, blah. So like 10 minutes after, like, the next scene, basically she's getting a phone call from somebody saying they know her name, they got her information. I'm like, yo, obviously that has to be the police. Like there's nobody else that could have given that information or gotten that information from that situation that fast. So I already knew it was the police. So it's like following the whole story. Them she's trying to get her money back. Some freaking housekeeper steals the money. They have to go and she goes to get it. It's a whole thing, but it's actually pretty decent. The acting, ludicrous, a little better, but it was a pretty decent movie. Nice to see Queen Latifah doing something different. The part that I was talking about when the girl stole her money and she tracked her down, that part was a little eccentric with how she beat up all the white people. Queen Latifah is a sizable woman, but the way she just beat up all the white guys was kind of funny. But it was a decent movie. Ultimately, they did overcome. They did find out it was the sheriff, who I did think it was, because there was a lot of shit he was doing that seemed like he was on their side. But I watched too many movies. It's like, yeah, nah, I know what you're trying to do, guys. You're trying to you're setting them up to run into you. Better like appreciate it. So that joint, pretty decent movie. Again, ludicrous. It's a little better with the acting. His teeth are too big too. Whatever them new teeth he got, they make his mouth protrude in the front. His lips poke out like. But it was pretty decent for what it was. A Netflix movie. I finally went and watched Morbius. From all the bad reviews that I've seen about this movie, yo, Morbius is horrible. It's terrible. It's not worth going to go see. Don't go see it. Wasting your time. They re-released it. Same thing. Didn't do well. Critics panned it. Okay, so now it's on Netflix. I'll watch it. I'm gonna be honest with you. Be completely honest with you. Maybe I go into these like certain movies with a different mindset. I'm not going to judge a comic book movie like a Leonardo DiCaprio Oscar type of movie. It's just we're talking about superheroes, right? We're talking about cartoon characters. And to me, I didn't think the movie was bad. This is just an objective response, and I just thought it was a pretty decent movie. It wasn't as bad as people said it was. I do have some questions, like why when he moves fast, it's like this trail of whatever that is. It's like, you know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie. Like when he moves, it's like whatever that is. It's like it just like carries off of him or something. Whatever. Can't remember. But I thought it was pretty decent. He was sick. He went to go. He wanted a cure for his sickness. He wanted to walk, and eventually he went and did some experiments with some vampire blood with mixing with human DNA, which I always tell y'all is called chimera. Creating chimeras, putting foreign DNA, animal DNA in your body, which had me cracking up because that's what it had on the screen, chimera. I was like, I try to tell y'all don't want to listen to me. But it was successful. He turned to Venom. I mean, not Venom. Turned to his vampire self, so Morbius. Well, he is Morbius, Michael Morbius, but you get what I'm saying, the vampire. But he had a friend who he callously renamed. His friend's name was Lucian. He kept calling him Milo. And so this man went by Milo for the rest of his life. His name was Lucian. I can't believe that he would even accept somebody calling him another name. uh, and going for it and like literally just taking that name for 30 years. Like your name's Lucian. You've been calling you Milo for 25, 30 years. That's not my name. I thought that was very rude. But they gained a friendship, and he also was disabled. So when Michael, he basically sees Michael well, Michael's like, look, you can't have this because it's a curse. Like, I gotta survive off of drinking blood and all this type of stuff. The guy still is about. He becomes basically him. He embraces the drinking the red blood, and so it was actually a pretty decent movie. I mean, there is Morbius hate, but again, I don't judge superhero movies like the Academy. They're superhero movies. They're supposed to be ridiculous. They're not. It wasn't as bad as the original Daredevil, or say the second Punisher, or any of the three Fantastic Four movies. Oh my goodness, I didn't even watch the last one. The reviews are so bad. I refuse. I'm not going to watch that. But just saying, I've seen worse superhero movies. This was pretty decent. Uh, so check that out if you haven't seen Morbius because you thought that it was so horrible. It's not that bad, especially if you're not looking at it with these like I don't know these Hollywood critic eyes critiques. I don't know. They just be over critiquing things. I think. Yo, just like how they over critique like the Disney Plus shows. Upset about the She-Hulk show. Upset about certain things. It's a comic book. Cut the crap, okay? Just cut the crap. Next movie is called Under Her Control. Again, I apologize. I forgot to get the pictures of the title cards. But it's called Under Her Control. It's like an English dub over. Again, it's another movie where they have it's based around women, and it has the makings to be a great movie, and they missed the mark. So this movie, kind of like Echoes, when they had the two twin sisters that switched each other's lives every single year on their birthday, which sounded like a great story until you saw the show, and you're like, wow, y'all really missed the mark here. Y'all had something that sounded like it could have been epic, and it sucked. Um, I'm not going to say that Under Her Control sucked, but it was very slow. It's about a woman who's she's dating this guy. He's like construction some person. He does some with construction, and he how life is. One you're going one way, and life's pulling you her this way. She wants to get in with this lady who she was in an internship with, and she finally got the job. The lady really liked her. She forged her background to get in the position to where she was, but then she ended up getting pregnant, and she didn't want to tell the boyfriend. He wanted a kid. She didn't want to tell him, and she also didn't want to tell the boss because she didn't want to lose her job. But the boss, because she's a woman, realized that she was pregnant because she was throwing up in the morning. So the girl feared that she was going to lose her job. The boss turns around and says, "Look, how about you keep the baby? Have you told anybody? No, I haven't told anybody. You keep the baby. You stay here. I'll take care of you. Take care of the baby. You could just sign the baby over to me. Basically, like a surrogate, but not a surrogate in a sense." So she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go for it." She getting all this money for it, but she has to basically tell the boyfriend that she can't see him. And the woman, as she starts to get settled with the woman starts, she's watching her, she's taking her cell phone, she's cutting off the Wi-Fi so she can't, she's doing all this stuff to basically like control her. And the girl isn't with it. I think she kind of realizes at some point that the woman was going to try to take the baby and kill her, maybe. I think she found some like ashes in the back. But it was very slow and it could have built up to be really good, but the ending was just uh and she killed the lady and just walked off to the sunset. So I mean, I would say you're not missing anything if missing Under Her Control. I like to watch a little random movies sometimes because it'd be really good, especially some of the English dub overs. They be really, really good, like Dark, um, like Marianne. If you like horror, that's a good horror TV show, English dub over. I thought it was gonna be something around those lines, but it wasn't. It really wasn't. I do want to see this movie Smile, but when they show commercials look good, and then you see the movie and it sucks. So that's where I'm at. I don't want to see something that's going to suck. Money is precious, and a $20 ticket isn't always worth it. I just want to throw on the record, if you ever heard me say this, that Jurassic number whatever, the last one, sucked. So that's that review for that movie. If you haven't seen it, you're not missing nothing. Sucks. I just don't understand the purpose of the movie. They had a woman have birth to a child without the man, create the child, like reproduce the whole child without the man. I just took me out the movie. Just took me out completely. Done with that. I think I did add this picture though. I was watching what's it called? Undisputed this morning. And Lil Wayne came on. Young. Lil Wayne was fried. I don't know if this picture really shows how fried he was, but I watched his whole segment. Yo, Lil Wayne, and it was like 8 o'clock in the morning in LA. Lil Wayne looked like how I look like when you wake up too early and you smoke and you're still tired, but you're trying to hold your eyes open. That's the face he had the whole time. But like young, he was fried, yo. He was trying his best to keep his eyes open, and I was just laughing. He just had that fried face. No offense, I love Wayne as a rapper, artist. Wayne he is not aging gracefully. I don't too many drugs. He is. It's looking rough, looking tough. But I did like seeing him. That's my guy. Uh, let's see. Remember I was talking about narratives. NBA news media always create narratives. So somebody asked Steph if he had choose between the two rings he won with KD or the current one. His response was, "No, give me this one all day, every day." And it's like, one, why even ask that question? Because he won rings, he won a ring before KD even got there. So why not ask him? Not if the first ring, the two with KD, or this one. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like they try to pit people against each other immediately. Who knows how KD would take that response? Maybe it doesn't matter to him. Or maybe he'd be like, "Damn, it's like that." I thought we had a little special situation. I just think it's funny how they always try to pit people against each other. They just create narratives. But who you think will have a better season this year as far as teams? Nets, if they're fully loaded. And the Nets roster is hold on, let me see something. The Nets roster is like that this year. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Hold on. I don't They signed a lot of people. Not a lot, but they signed some. So they still got Aldridge there. They don't have him. Do they have Claxton? Nick Claxton still there? Seth? I don't know who David Duke Jr. is. Kevin Durant, Blake Griffin, Joe Harris, Kyrie Irving, Patty Mills. They signed Markieff Morris, Royce O'Neal, Day'Ron Sharp, Ben Simmons. I forgot they got Ben Simmons. Who cares about these other two guys? Cam Thomas, Edmund Sumner, TJ Warren. TJ Warren's all right. I mean, remember a couple of years ago in the bubble, he was getting it in. He's a nice guy to have to come off the bench if he can be productive. He's 6'8", got some nice size. Alondis Williams, they can stay healthy, and with Kyrie and everything, I don't see why they couldn't be. And then compare their roster to Golden State, Patrick Baldwin Jr., Nemanja Belici, whatever, Belicia, I forgot how you say his name. Chris Chioza, Steph Curry, Dante DiVincenzo, Draymond, Jermichael Green, Andre Iguodala, who doesn't even play, Jonathan Kuminga, Kevon Looney, Matt McClung, Moses Moody, Jordan Poole, Ryan Rollins. All right, bro. Luis Santos, Klay Thompson, Quindary, Weatherspoon, Andrew Wiggins, and James Wiseman. So I don't know. When I see both of the teams compared to each other, Jordan Poole like that. Obviously, Steph, Draymond adds what he adds. Looney on defense. Kuminga is decent. Wiggins, Wiseman. But is that team better than the team I just stated with KD and Seth and Patty Mills and Kyrie and Ben Simmons? I don't know. If they can be a fully healthy team, I can see the Nets not only having a better season overall, they could potentially go further. But see, the Warriors play a better defense, and defense does count. So I don't know. It's up to you. What you think? And I'm gonna end here since we just had was it really technically an upset? They are the champions and they were at home. Who can I see an upset coming from? What would be considered an upset out of all the games? I could see the Vikings possibly beating the Packers. That would be my upset. Vikings beating Packers. Or another surprising one. It could be, I'm going to give 3 potential. The Vikings could beat the Packers. The Cardinals could beat the Chiefs. And the Cowboys could beat the Buccaneers. Honestly. So, but out of all of those, the Cowboys, they're known to give somebody a tough, like the Buccaneers and these like teams. You want them to lose to, like the Rams. They would always play the Rams hard when you want them to lose, or the Bucks, or like the best teams. They would play them really well. Who they played last year at the beginning, the first game? It was like a really good team. I think they beat them, something like that. Maybe I may be wrong, because I don't like the Cowboys, but maybe Vikings Packers. I think Lazard is out too, so it's like at some point, Rodgers is going to need somebody to throw the ball to, and if he has nobody to throw the ball to, then we're just wasting time. But yeah, that's it. I got nothing else. Just wanted to get those reviews out, movie reviews out, and talk about that game last night. Talk about that game last night. I did play a little bit of Madden. I think I played maybe 3, 4 games. Let me think. Who I played? The first game don't really count because they make you play like the little Madden game. But I did choose the NFC and put the working on the AFC. I know I played with the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Raiders. The Chiefs, I don't like their their receivers are just, I don't know. It's different without Tariq. I tried to practice with the Dolphins, just took them to practice. Yo, I don't know if I was tripping or what, but Tua Tagovailoa or whatever, Tua was so inaccurate that I probably threw 3 passes with him, and then he was throwing them jumps out of bounds. I was like, pause, quit. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get to play with Miami, but Jesus, that man's accuracy on the game is horrible. But yeah, that's it. Short podcast today. Ain't too long. In and out. I'll have more to talk about. We'll do probably some live streaming on Sunday or something for the game, but we'll see because I might have to work. And as far as work goes, y'all got to stop. They got to be fair because I'm fair, but you got to be fair. If you have a drunken move and all this stuff, we can't agree to a price. And then I get there and it's quadruple what I got. and you load my whole truck to the back and think the price gonna stay the same. No, it's not. You need to be fair and be honest with yourself to know that, yo, this is going to cost a lot more or a little bit more. It is. You know, people are trip. But anywho, have a good night. And until next time, smoke weed.